to get you guys an idea of when we're going to be on every week. So it's like, all right, they're on every day at the same time. So we're going to do that. I am Dion. This is Anthony. We're going to knock out some sports. So we're obviously in the beginning of the playoff race. So we want to see, what's good with the Bulls as well as the Blackhawks, and we'll go from there. So what we're going to start with tonight is, of course, the Bulls. At this time, we are after Game 1, and the Bulls actually won. What do you think about that?
I think there was a wise man who once told you the Bulls would make the playoffs.
This dude.
So I'm going to go ahead and throw that out
sucks.
there. I'm also going to start off with my bold prediction, not because the Bulls won last night, but because I said it pre-game.
Okay.
I think the Bulls are going to win this series.
Okay.
I think they match up fantastic against the Celtics, even though they are a 1 seed.
Why do you think they match up?
Well, I think that Amir Johnson is horrible at the 4.
Okay.
I think he got exposed highly last night.
Mm-hmm.
I think, obviously, Isaiah Thomas is fantastic. I'm not taking anything away from him.
Yeah.
But I do think that Rondo matches up perfect against him because he is a good defender.
Okay.
Also, I think that a lot of people forget that Rondo might not be the greatest on offense, but his continuous movement will wear down an opposing point guard.
And it makes you wonder if, Hoiberg was saving him all year for this purpose because he's fresh and he knows the Celtics, believe it or not, because he actually did play there. I know it's a different team, but,
the atmosphere goes a long way.
Hell yeah. So
I mean, like I said, his involvement in the game, even when he doesn't have the ball, forces the opposing player to run with him for extensive periods of time, and I think that really he's in great shape.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Butler's better than Crowder at the 3.
Yeah.
Avery Bradley's great. I'm not taking nothing away from him, but you gotta. He's a great defender. He is, and he played great last night on Wade. But at the same time, Wade's got playoff experience, and I don't think he's much better than Wade, or if he even is better than Wade. And I mean, honestly, and Robin Lopez was fantastic last night.
Yeah.
And I mean, him and Horford were pretty much, they played about even. If you look at the numbers.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, I think we match up really good against them.
So basically, the whole point of this show is this guy's been waiting probably, I don't know, months after months so he could get on the Bobby train. This guy is a Bobby Portis freak. If you follow us on Twitter, then you could literally see how, we go back and forth as of last night. Where I'm like, dude, this guy is really doing it. He's been a Bobby P guy. What is Bobby P doing? Was it the Rondo talk of defending them against Wade and Butler, or what's going on? Or he just always had it and Hoiberg didn't know?
It's the Bobby P motor.
Okay.
And honestly, I joke around a lot about this because I've always liked Bobby P.
Okay.
And you know that.
Mm-hmm.
And to see him come in the game last night and instantly make an impact was, I thought it was phenomenal. I loved it because I'm such a big fan.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the guy just comes off the bench. He's just electrifying on the floor, rebound after rebound right off the bat.
Yep.
He takes that 18-footer that we're not used to him shooting very much, that he just is so comfortable with. And then, not only does he get up and down the floor, he shoots a major 3.
Yeah.
Huge 3 in his first ever playoff game.
Was he 3 for 4?
Deep in the fourth quarter. I mean, I think the guy's, he's got balls, man. There's no other way to put it, and that's why I love him.
So the Bulls don't trade him anytime soon?
I think there's just absolutely no way he gets traded.
Okay.
Absolutely no way.
I'm not gonna lie. Going into the season, I thought this would happen. They play to their opponent's potential. Wade was gonna take some games off, which he did. Then he started seeing, they might get to the playoffs because Wade, honestly, he's at his last leg. He still wants to get a playoff run. he saw the Bulls are actually starting to play, and they were, because I honestly, there was at one point they were just out of the playoffs, and then all of a sudden they kept playing well. So, with that being said, outside of Cleveland, with the depth that the Bulls have, I'm not going to say they're going to kill it, but I just will not be surprised if they get out of the first round against Boston, because, like I was telling him, if you take Isaiah Thomas, I know people always say this, you take this guy out of the team, but there's not anyone on that team outside of Thomas where they can create their own shot. Like they were saying last night, I think it was Barkley or somebody was like, yeah, I think it was Barkley. He's like, if you literally take Isaiah Thomas off the team, off the floor, I mean, he has to do every single thing.
Right.
Whether it's an assist or, running the play or actually doing it, it's like, dude, he has to do everything.
No, and I agree with you. I think if you do take him out of the equation, especially, you see last night, he's out of the game.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart he just plays, he has no rhythm.
No.
He's not a passing point guard. He's a strictly scoring point guard, and lately he can't score.
Yeah, he's a defender.
You're right. So what can he do is what you got to ask yourself. I mean, even Jerry Grant was kind of having his way with him there deep in the fourth. Exactly. Not something you're really going to see as a typical kind of thing. But the thing is, for me, is that their bench, Kelly Olynyk is great. I honestly think he should start over Amir Johnson.
Okay.
But I think it goes back to what you say. I think Brad Stevens understands that when he's not on the floor, they have to, when the bench comes in, they have to have some source of offense because, I mean, they don't match up well with us at all.
No.
Portis comes off the bench. I mean, he's just...
And that's why they were trying, the talk was they wanted Jimmy because they needed someone to help.
Take the pressure off, right?
Because Thomas is 5'9", if that. He's listed at that. And,
right.
with all of the stuff that happened with his family, that's a tough situation to be in.
Right.
And now we're saying, okay, we pretty much can't do anything without you. So it's a tough situation for them, but I'm not... With Boston, I want to see the Bulls do what they have to do. And last night, I just felt they played a great game. And I haven't said that in a while. We've been going against these games all year. And the last thing that I've seen is that they just want to play together and play right.
Right. I was just going to make that point. I mean, we've been going to the games.
Yeah.
And the last couple games we went to at the season's end, the locker room they've never gelled so much as they were in those last closing couple games. I mean, I went to that Brooklyn game, the last game they needed to win. I mean,
that was a brutal one.
Even so, everyone knew they were going to win.
Yeah.
But the locker room after is just...
Who the hell is Brooklyn to sit players? Like,
I know.
You're Brooklyn,
you think they'd want to steal something.
Yeah, like, have some freaking... Pride in your team. Like, I want to be a freaking, like... It was awful, like, really.
I agree.
Brooklyn, how dare you do that? But, I mean, that's the thing. Like, what do you think about the NBA? Not to go away completely from the Bulls, what do you think about, like, all of this resting that you're seeing prior to the playoffs, obviously?
Right. I mean, I don't know. I think you need to look at it from a business standpoint at that point. I mean, they basically sat their star three players.
Yeah.
Which I can't even disagree with because, hey, what if you win the game? I mean, hey, go home. You won.
I mean, you sit your star three players, but then you just start video because my head is not in there. When you sit your star three players, and you're talking about Brooklyn,
yeah.
If you look at Brooklyn, they've been sitting the whole season.
Right. I know.
How dare they sit anyone? So what I'm saying is, this all stemmed from Greg Popovich starting it. But if you look at who he was sitting, you're sitting an aging Tim Duncan, who's still playing, getting double-doubles, but you're sitting him to literally really rest him.
Right.
An aging Tony Parker, an aging Manu Ginobili.
Yeah.
So...
And then when you're dealing with Brooklyn, you're sitting Jeremy Lin.
Mm-hmm. Brooke Lopez. And that's all I know on that team.
Yeah.
But when you say business, it is business. If I'm a paying fan,
right,
in Chicago, and LeBron James and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love are coming, and it's a game, say, in April when Cleveland's already set, and you hear, oh, LeBron's not playing, Kyrie's not playing. How do you feel if you just dropped $200 on a ticket, taking your little, girl out, going to see LeBron, got your, outfit you had laid on the bed all night, to go out on a Friday night? How do you feel as a person or a fan, and you drop $200 on some tickets to see freaking whoever?
I know.
Chandler, whatever.
That's the thing.
His name. Like, come on, man. Really?
That's the thing.
I'm here to see Darren Williams.
Right.
What?
And see, that's the whole problem. From the fans' perspective, it's absolutely brutal, especially because for games like that, they're pre-purchased so far in advance. You're looking forward to that. Others are looking forward to that. I mean, they're on primetime networks, even looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. They're not going to get the views. They're
because Channel 7 takes over at the end of the season. So
right, ABC, that's the Saturday night game.
Because they can pick and choose, yeah. That's why they do it. If you guys didn't know this, when you see the ABC night games, they don't start in the beginning of the season because they want to get, all of the teams where they're going to be. So, at the end of the season, if Memphis is sucking, they don't have a game set in place where, we got Memphis and Phoenix, really.
Right.
So now you can go, okay, the Bulls aren't doing as well, but they're still in the playoff hunt. We can put the Bulls and Cavs on. You can put the Cavs and the Spurs and OKC. You can put them on anytime. But when you're talking about the teams that, like the Knicks, everybody thought the Knicks would go to the playoffs. They probably had thinking that the Knicks would be on prime time. Well, that's why you do the games like that.
Right.
Because you can just pluck those out because the Knicks stink. So at the end of the day, right now the Bulls are an 8th seed. Okay. They're looking more like a 4th or 5th seed the way they're playing. They're playing tough D, good coaching now. It's almost like they just...
That's the biggest takeaway for me.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, and I said this the last time that we actually, on our last podcast, the playoff rotation is official now.
Mm-hmm.
There's 9 guys playing.
Yeah.
And that's been the problem the whole season. You've been playing 13 guys. There's just absolutely no rhythm, no chemistry. You got one guy starting at point guard, another guy starting at point guard. Now the starting lineup is solidified.
Mm-hmm.
The bench is solidified. I mean, you see the guys that sat on the bench last night. Valentine didn't come off the bench. None of those guys came off the bench.
It was Zipser, BP,
right? Grant,
and the
Felicio.
Yeah, that's it. That's how it should be.
A 9-man rotation. Yeah. That's how it should be. If you got to ride the 9-man till the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
When you start putting too many guys in, there's way too much chaos on the floor. No timing, no chemistry. It's brutal. But my next question to you: tomorrow night's game. What's your keys for the Bulls for tomorrow night's game?
I mean, just play tough D, and just be aggressive. I feel like I sound like an NBA player. Play tough D, stay aggressive, and get the ball to their teammates. No, it is ball movement in the playoffs. It's like the next level, the next gear. You really have to be aggressive, and you need to take the ball out of it. If you take the ball out of Isaiah Thomas' hands, they might they'll see how easy it is, because I will live with Marcus Smart shooting threes. Go ahead. Shoot them all you want, buddy. Because at the end of the day, you can double down on Isaiah Thomas, and it's a wrap. Right. And, in the regular season, teams aren't like, ooh, let's double Isaiah. They're just going with the flow. So that's why Boston's the number 1 seed. But what the Bulls need to do is play the same game. Make sure their guys get in and, just get open shots for their team. And honestly, that's all they have to do. It's not like this huge billboard of what they have to do. They know that Boston doesn't match up with them. They have to use their size. And I think the Bulls are going to have a way better situation than everybody, including myself, thought. How about you?
I think the key tomorrow, they have to spacing the floor is most important, aside from, obviously, turnovers is most important always. Last night, we turned the ball over 1,000,000 times to start the game, and we were still in the game. I mean, here's the thing that I take away most from yesterday's game. We got off to a rough start with turnovers, but we were leading at the half. We shot horrendous from three-point range. Horrendous. Meritic was 1 for 8, I think, or maybe 0 for 8. Yeah, I don't know. Feel free to comment on that.
Yes.
But even if we can space the floor, you got to take guys like Amir Johnson out of the middle, because that's all he can do is rebound.
Yeah.
The key is I agree, it's going to be rebounding to the maximum, but we're going to have to space the floor on offense because we're going to have to take Horford and those other big guys out of the middle and utilize the perimeter. But yeah, I mean, the transition points, like you said, attack. Butler was he was phenomenal at attacking the basket early last night. He was getting guys in foul trouble. Picked up 2 quick ones on Amir, picked up 2 quick ones on Crowder. That's key. If those guys get in foul trouble, they have to change their whole defensive mindset.
Yeah.
They're less aggressive. They have to play more down towards the basket. They can't come up as much. Plus, a guy like that at 6'7" will blow right by you. I mean, it's going to be...
And like Jack is saying now, you can't let them get late points. When you got a lead, you got to hold the damn lead, and that's what the Bulls have been doing. They scared the hell out of me, man. Like, am I watching this? So, at the end of the day, you have to make sure that you can't allow the team. You can't get, just lax. Like, all right, we got this. We're up 7 with a few minutes left. So let's do. And then someone had a question for you. They said that Boston is the worst number 1 seed in the history of the NBA. What do you think?
I don't know about that. I'll tell you what, though. If you heard earlier, we did go over the way we match up against them, and the way we match up against them, I would be scared if I was them.
Yeah. So I mean, I remember if
Marco, I couldn't agree more. It's 100% the coaching. We have struggled this entire season to slow the pace of the game down with the lead late in the game. I couldn't agree more. Especially, we inbound the ball like a youth team.
Yep.
Our inbounding, even that last inbound that Wade threw to Butler where we got the ball in was way in front of him. I thought he was going to throw it away. We have been horrible with that. I hope that's something they're working on. I don't know why it's so hard to utilize timeouts. I really don't. But that I couldn't agree more.
All we can ask for is hopefully this series turns out to be like that 0-3 series, because that was the greatest series I've ever seen in my life.
The best. They showed the clips of it last night.
I saw that when that was Derek's first. He had his numbers were sick.
Right.
But tomorrow, I mean, a lot of people are jumping on our wagon. You're going to see it. The Bulls just have to come out, play tough, and I'm serious. Like, man, this will be crazy. I'm not sure. What did the bracket say? Who will we play in the next round? I'm not trying to move forward. He's got his little trusty tablet here. He's going to look up for us. But like I was saying, with the Bulls, all season, they have been playing like, let's just get to the playoffs. Let's just get to the playoffs. And then once we, do what we have to do, which is get there, then everything starts over. Nobody gives a damn about their 41-41 record. No one cares about, the rifts that we had earlier in the season. Now it's like, let's start over. Let's get it going, and that's what they're doing.
You're looking at Washington next round.
The brackets, you're looking at Washington, which
is my pick to beat Atlanta.
He has them, yeah. So,
which, by the way, is the best point guard in the East. Isaiah Thomas is good. Kyrie's good. John Wall's playing superior in the East right now.
John Wall's doing his thing. So, at the end of the day, let's focus on Boston. One game at a time, but I'm sorry if they win tomorrow, meaning the Bulls. It's going to be tough for Boston to come to Chi-Town on Friday. I'll be there.
I'll be there Sunday. Look for me.
We're going to do our thing. So the biggest focus is to make sure that we get what we have to do done. So also, with the playoffs up here, it's in the West. Someone had mentioned Durant. I hate Golden State, so I'm going to say that first and foremost. But Portland started off, trying to play hard, and that's what happens in the playoffs. These teams, they play hard, and then, the team with the most athleticism, the most star power, I mean, that's just what happens. Anthony's getting some personal questions, as we say.
Piggybacking off what you just said, though, about Golden State, that's a rough loss for Portland because the way I look at it is, like you said, when you play that tough and lose, it's demoralizing, especially in a 7-game.
Yeah.
But the main problem is your backcourt goes for 73.
Yeah.
And you lose.
Can't beat that. And we're going to talk about the full
somebody
playoffs.
else has got to step off at that point.
Close the show with that. But let's go into your Go Cubs Go. What do you got with him?
I'd like to say don't panic. It's way too early. I think that the Cubs need to just relax. I think that's our main problem right now. I think last year was embrace the target, but now
everybody's on you now.
We're the favorite. I think these young guys just need to relax. There's 162 games. We're 6-6. Right now, I hate to say it, but the season is so long. It means nothing. And
what do you say about the relief pitching?
The relief pitching is the main problem right now. We've given up 18 runs in relief already in only 12 games. Obviously that's more than 1 run a game. When the relief comes in, that'll hurt you. Yesterday you saw we played a fantastic game. Lester pitched lights out, takes us into the 8th. We go down 6-1 to lose in 2 innings of play. Jeez. So, it's just very, very tough. Those are tough losses too. When you battle the whole game, especially the starting pitchers get. It's demoralizing.
Yeah.
You pitch your heart out for 8, and then you don't even get the win. It's tough. It's tough. But the bats, I gotta say, with the lineup we have, the bats got to get going too. It's. The bottom half of our order is very talented, but we're not hitting the ball right now.
Yeah.
And that's big.
But like you said, man, that's why we're keeping this really short, because we're Cub fans and we understand that it's don't panic. We just have to speak on them because they're the greatest team in the Major League Baseball right now. So we have to acknowledge our Cubbies. So like Ann said, there's no panic necessary. We're 6-6. And, once we get in the middle of the season, that's when we're going to be a little more harder on them, but chill. And, we'll get there. Now, like I said, we're going to get back to, we got about 5 minutes left. We'll get back to the NBA. The Cavs just won, so they're up 2-0. They're looking like, the Cavs, everybody keeps questioning them, but they're up 2-0. Right. So, at the end of the day, they want to make sure that they're in the finals, and that's what the Cavs are doing. So, what do you say about that?
The Cavs. To me, I told you I already thought this. I'm not. Make sure you understand here.
So many Warrior fans in Chicago. It's crazy.
What I'm saying is, not that the Bulls would beat the Cavs. I would never say that. The Cavs would beat the Bulls. I understand. The thing that I'm saying is, I purposely think that the Cavs avoided the Bulls because I think that the Cavs realized they got swept by the Bulls and they match up completely 100 times better against Indiana. And I think the Bulls are better than Indiana. I think they might be the worst team in the East in the playoffs.
They
really do.
They barely got in.
And I think that was a great strategy.
Yeah. And Cleveland, I don't care what anybody says. Cleveland, not. Why? This is what LeBron's thinking and this whole team. Why stay 1? The Bulls look like they're going to make it. we know how the Bulls are going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, yes, I'm with LeBron James. You should know that by now. At the end of the day, it's like the Bulls are always playing us tough. Chicago always plays Cleveland tough. Why am I going to play them in the first round when I could get freaking Indiana? And they're showing it right now. So Cleveland's up 2-0. That looks like they're going to sweep. Last year, I think they went 2 or 3 rounds without losing a game.
Yeah.
You got Washington. Washington's pretty handily. Him and John Wall and the team is handling Atlanta. Atlanta is sort of like on a just right back to it. Atlanta's like that team where they're always like in the middle. You know, they really don't do anything.
They're a regular season team.
Yeah, they're just a regular season team. That's what they are. Toronto, Milwaukee. Oh, Milwaukee is looking good. You know, and I found out that what the Greek freak, you know, he's 22.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't have a freaking jump shot yet, and he's probably top 5 in the league.
Long. He's like Durant. He's like your guy.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, I just don't see Toronto matching up with them. And Jason Kidd's doing an amazing job coaching with those guys.
Imagine if they had Jabari, too.
I forgot he tore his freaking ACL. That's crazy.
I mean,
so the East, it just looks like, you know, Chicago is playing well right now, but we got to see tomorrow. Once we see tomorrow, I think Anthony and I can attest that we'll know what Chicago's going to do after that.
Right.
So let's go to the West. We already said there's so many Golden State people in Chicago. I can't wait to take some more money from anybody. I'm on live right now. If you want to take Golden State, I got you. We can go there, but you know, once we get to the finals, we'll see what's up. Portland started off, like I said, quick, and then they sort of faded. The Clippers, that's the one I wanted to get a little into. They're looking bad right now, man.
They are.
Do you think they blow it up if they lose to Utah?
Absolutely. If they lose first round, you'll see Griffin go, and then it could just spiral out of control from there.
Yeah.
However, I think if Gobert didn't go down, Utah would beat them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now that Gobert is down and out for the season with a torn ACL, I think the Clippers 4-5 and Griffin and DeAndre is just too much at this point now.
Yeah.
However, if he didn't go down, I love what Utah brings to the table. Big road win the other night. Joe Johnson really showed that he's a veteran. How about it? He was taking control there at the end.
Exactly. But, I mean, even if they do in Golden State, I just feel like we're going to get a repeat, but that's my opinion. Houston, OKC. OKC, I mean, I think they lost by 30 last night.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know, you know, Russ got a great regular season. I just think he overplayed a lot this season. Not that I'm saying he needed a rest, but when you're playing like 40 minutes a game, every single game, it sort of weighs on you. I'm not putting it just on him, but Houston has more of an all-around team, whereas, you know, Russ is pretty much, you take him off, they're looking around for him, even if he's on the bench. So that might be a tough series for them to get out of.
Right.
And then, like, the Spurs do it all the time, man. They start well, and then once they get to that young, you know, upbeat team, then that's where their age might hurt them.
Right, and Memphis is a brutal team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
so who's the finals? I mean, we're winding down. Let's get to the brass tacks.
I think the Western Conference Finals, you're going to get. I gotta say, I think the Rockets are going to come out of the West.
Wow. Did you hear that?
No. Out of the Western Conference.
You said out of the West, bro.
I apologize. The Rockets will make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
And then Golden State will beat them.
Okay.
And then I think your Eastern Conference Finals is going to be Cleveland and Washington.
Okay.
And Cleveland.
So you got Washington beating the Bulls.
I do.
He's a real Bulls fan, everybody. So I'm going to hold him to that.
I'm a huge Bulls fan.
Houston against GS, going GS. And then you got, I mean, I'm saying the same damn thing. And then you got Cleveland and Washington.
Correct.
I think that might go like 7, but I still got Cleveland going and winning. How about you?
I got Cleveland going, and I got Cleveland winning as well. I think if all is healthy.
Okay.
We got a repeat, and I think it ends the same way. But I will say I love the Bulls. I do think if they do make it out of the first round, Washington's give us a problem every.
This changes everything. If the Bulls got out of the first round, you'll see on our next show it's going to change. So we're talking as of right now, but we have to see how our Bulls do, and we're obviously going to keep everybody posted on that. Watch our pages, Facebook, Instagram. He's just pull up our names, Deion Williams and Anthony D'Amato, and you'll see when we're going to be on. We're going to have the podcast on at a point every single week, and then we'll do our lives just right there. So just stick up with us. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for your comments and everything.
And real quick, the podcast is now on iTunes.
Yes.
So we are iTunes verified. You can go on there. You can type in ECSports. It'll pop up.
You'll see our faces half. Yeah. And that'll be on our page too. So listen to our first 2 shows in this one, and we appreciate you guys' support, and we'll see you next week.
Go Hawks.